welcome to the SmackDown Preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture. Look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review SmackDown, but also Raw, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete. The very good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown.
It's a low squat,
Watch my cinema whilst you're away.
Three things. Inside Out 2.
Goated.
Chase U winning the belts and clips of SmackDown.
Oh my God.
Yes, what was the last we talked post SummerSlam?
That would have been it. I think we previewed the OTC making his return to SmackDown, as was confirmed. Frustratingly, because it seems so long ago now, we previewed with excitement the fact that not only would Roman Reigns be on that SmackDown, but he'd been announced for the following week.
Yep.
And then we do that thing where it's like, and then the rest of the time will never come. And now here we are, and obviously he's not on the show. But then it makes sense that he's not on the show narratively because of the beatdown he suffered last
Indeed,
week.
this week's episode is Fallout.
Yes.
From the Bloodline's attack on Roman Reigns, the return of Jacob Fatu. I saw one person saying, Roman's already getting buried. Was he? Because he was kicking the rest of the Bloodline's ass, and then the great equalizer, Jacob Fatu, arrived, and I just thought it was a brilliant way to end that show.
I would argue, before Jacob Fatu arrived, and maybe that's the point, and we'll come back around to that he was kicking a bit too much ass, because he kind of made the Gorillas look like total clowns. Like, he did that thing. Remember when he was feuding with Brock Lesnar when there was two belts, and he, like, did the... tossed aside the WWE title because he had the Universal
tag title.
Did it with a tag belt, didn't he? And you're a bit like, ease up. I felt like Vader Ken Shamrock.
It's also a really nice looking belt, that one.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to, I get the point you're trying to make and what you're about to illustrate with the Ula Fala, but, all right, like...
I'm astonished how
you don't
well
need to kill one dead to put over the other one.
But how well they've made that Ula Fala now feel like, oh, that's another belt they've got in the company.
Yeah, look, I know there's going to be debate over this because the Ula Fala law and all the stuff around it comes so soon after the controversial bracelet match at SummerSlam and the general bracelet stuff at SummerSlam with Punk and Drew McIntyre. So I feel like the next stick to beat WWE's booking with is going to be one about objects and about, in this case...
Both symbolic. What did people not get?
People do get it. But I think people, some people just don't like it, and that's fine. You don't have to like everything. But I think some people, without investment in the characters or with a willful ignorance towards the meaning of the objects, just choose to see it as this frivolous nonsense. Roman's acting was both hilarious and brilliant. Like him doing his, for the want of a better phrase, his cum face, when he picked the Ula Fala up, only to have it ripped away from him as a result of Jacob Fatu's surprise appearance. Sold the moment. So ultimately...
that reaction was amazing. It was like he'd won a world title again.
And we're not sort of previewing or reviewing The Wire here. Like, this is, as he pointed out, a very, very important trophy, something that goes beyond merely an object. It's about what the object represents. We can now infer that however Solo Sikoa arrived at it was stolen or cheap. Clearly, like, as Roman was preparing to depart WrestleMania weekend or whatever, or Solo sent somebody to steal it or whatever. Just the worst way to acquire this treasured item handed down to him. And now he's come to reclaim what's his, not just the title of the tribal chief, but the confirmation of that. And then from there, it'll be to move on to getting the WWE title back. It's really easy to sort of determine the journey Roman's going to take. But to answer your, sorry, I've gone very long-winded there, but to answer your second point about a few people saying he was getting buried because it's only his second week back, I would argue that he did such a good job of kicking so much ass before Jacob Fatu turned up that there simply wouldn't have been the justification for the stuff we all want, which is the Usos, which is Yeet, which is War Games. If Roman gets all that done in a week, 2 weeks, then why are we bothering? Why is he
Exactly.
thinking, all right, I need 5 guys. Like, I need a team. I need all the goodies to come together to beat the baddies, which is what always happens around War Games time under, like, Triple H's adoration of that stipulation and the plan he does towards Survivor Series and how much Survivor Series factors into the Rumble, which factors into Mania. And all of these things will fit together and piece together. You know, we're not... I'm not saying anything outlandish here. This is booking.
Yes.
So what's happening here is booking. Roman Reigns doesn't work every SmackDown. So when he's going to be taking a break, beat him up. You can do that now as a babyface, especially when you've established Jacob Fatu as this killer heel. And the use of the surgical boot as part of the attack, effectively no-selling his own broken body.
Yes.
However injured he was, we don't know. At least I think we don't know. Have I missed a story?
No, I've not heard anything.
Like,
the moon boot was the only... That photo we saw immediately after was the only thing I know of anyway.
We were made to wait for the two of them to have a showdown, and when we did...
It's funny that Dave Meltzer said they're not going to be involved with each other for ages.
Yeah,
that Friday.
And the day we got it, Jacob Fatu was the more dangerous of the two. And there'll be another day for Jacob and Roman, and it's going to be amazing. But if you're now going to do kind of what they've done with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins, and just...
Oh my God.
Yeah, and just say, well, where's Roman? Where's Roman? Like Solo Sikoa will go full troll at this point.
Yes.
Troll Sikoa, if anything.
Big night for them as well tonight, isn't it?
Just come and take it. Just come and take it, knowing full well that he's nowhere near the building to do just that.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be showboating. And yeah, I was talking about this on Monday. I can't remember if it was the SmackDown review or the Q&A.
Who were you chatting with?
Just me and microphone, really.
Okay, yeah. He's good in a pinch, isn't he?
And the Queen, of course. Queen Nia, who we'll talk about in a bit, about what the path is now. Because like you say, I mean, obviously Roman's not going to work. Bash in Berlin, or probably not even Bad Blood, because you've got your big matches in mind already for that one. You've got Gunther in Berlin. You've got Punk, Drew, Hell in a Cell for Bad Blood, and you could list numerous others for that one that you sense that they're going to do. And then we are, beginning of October that is? So we're getting pretty close to the road to Survivor Series. Yeah. And like you say, you needed Jacob Fatu to do this, or the rest of the bloodline to be able to do this as a result of Jacob Fatu's involvement. So he is, and I'm so excited to see you. I don't think it's going to happen tonight, the journey this takes of, Roman having to go cap in hand too. I mean, I think Jimmy's going to be the first because he never left Roman, really, did he?
Jimmy just wants to crack back. That's
and
what
then
he
you've got,
misses the family times.
They've put the pieces in place for Jay and Sammy, although Jay obviously is trying to be in that IC title tournament on Mondays. And then potentially you say, okay, well, there we go, 4-on-4, job done. Oh, God, here's Hikuleo. Maybe we need Cody Rhodes, which would be the greatest super team of all time.
And then they've kind of put the first thing in place. Well, not the first, because that was a SummerSlam, I guess, but they've put the next detail in place about the Cody and Roman coming back together again to feed into the potential return of The Rock. And
I'm assuming we're doing Gunther versus, let's just say Gunther versus Punk, right, at Mania.
Sounds good
I think
to me.
Gunther holds the World Heavyweight title till then.
Whispers of Steve Austin and CM Punk continue. Austin made that cute comment about saying
Nice to see him show up at WrestleMania.
a number of reasons.
Rock did.
First try. What are you on about? Like, we saw Steve Austin wrestle.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, Taker did it, so it's better.
Yeah, that's definitely what people were expecting.
But yeah, in terms of, so you got that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Cody Rock, because that would be the dream for me. So you're like, well, if that's, let's just presume that's the case. Both world titles out of the picture. What does Roman do at WrestleMania? Is it Rolo versus Soman?
Yeah, Soman versus Rolo, I think, for me. Look, they said it right. I think you were off. I think me and Phil took it from a website and pretended it was that. Oh, no, we don't do that. We aggregated it.
Wacky Summer is nearly over, folks.
Getting there. My kids go back to school in 2 weeks.
We've got a mandatory day off tomorrow when this will go out.
Yeah. Sidge's kids roughly the same. Travelling down to London this weekend. It's a bank holiday in the UK on Monday, but we're still going to try and do something.
Yes. Oh, well, yeah. Don't call us heroes. Come on.
Lots of podcasters. It's just a bit of fun. Do it for real. Do it for shoot.
Din-dins for Dadleys.
Dudley Dindins. The arse falling in the Jimmy Blade. Doing that as a shoot. What a legend. I was watching one of your matches from several years ago. Jimmy Blade on YouTube. I was treating myself. I was looking for an old pack match, and I didn't find the one I was looking for, but I found a different one. And then I found myself going back into a vortex. The arse falling in Jimmy Blade, a regular contributor. might be an overlap here because Brian, our regular Photoshop correspondent, if he links up at all with the Arsenal and Jimmy Blade, you will find his profile picture of him on the top rope. And there was a period where Jimmy was campaigning to become the IWF champion here in the Northeast. It was emotional stuff. I liked it, and I was watching a few of his old promos. Sorry to embarrass you there, Jimmy, but it was good stuff.
Did you see last week's, by the way?
I don't think I did.
It's me, Michael Sidgwick, Miley Cyrus on the donkeys at Skegness.
How come?
I don't know. We ended up talking. I talked about interviewing Miley back in the day.
Sidge being so stoic in between the two of you.
Oh, love a donkey ride, man.
You've nailed it as usual, Brian.
I went to take Eric on his first one of them.
What's the joke? I've forgotten it. I was going to set it up and I ruined it.
What do the donkeys get?
What do the donkeys get for their lunch?
Half an hour.
Yeah, I did it. I worked at I've talked about this before on countless podcasts. I grew up in Filey, near Filey. Easy to get a job as a kid and get criminally underpaid for it. It was fun. And I worked in like a little hole in the wall waffle and donut shop.
Oh, yeah.
You go to the seaside, you get some waffles or donuts or whatever. Like really, really fun work when you're like 14. Again, like a couple of quid an hour or something.
Yeah.
But amazing back then, first money you'd earned sort of thing. But I knew people that worked the donkeys on the beach, like walking back and forth. 2001-ish. So just that 23 years of inflation, £1 a day.
What?
£1 a day. I don't know what donkey rides cost back then.
What are donkeys getting paid?
Give me a couple of carrots and get on with it. Move your ass down to the beach.
£1 a day.
Yeah. Not enough.
I suppose you could gamble it and see if you can on 2p machines.
That was the problem as well. You put some of your weight straight in the arcade and it was gone. G-double-O-double-N-E, gone.
We should have a WhatCulture, what they called, machine.
Oh, I call them tuppenny pushers, but I don't know, people call them different things. You know what we're talking about.
Or a full-on one-arm bandit.
Yes. I like that. It could be a wrestler's arm and you could have to put it in like an arm.
Yeah, and you go like, Y? And you have to get you get like 3 Ys and you open the
WhatCulture. Here you go, Brian. The WhatCulture arcade.
Yeah.
Where there's like me and Matt Rains playing basketball at the back of it, and there's a air hockey table with like. Oh my god. The disc is not a disc; it's a deft, right? And then every time it hits something, it goes deft, and like it's just like there's AEW logos all over the table. It's like
this is great.
You've got a Sidge one and a Murray one for that one.
To pitch this.
The WhatCulture arcade. Who doesn't love arcades?
Yeah.
We took the kids to one after bowling over the summer.
What a day.
Yeah, great day. Cinema, bowling, arcade, Pizza Hut. Great day. Everything's £1 now. Everything's £1 minimum. Like, the whole deal with £1 when I was younger was being told to make it last. You remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. Passage of time.
I don't like the way that many arcades now have gone the way of tickets.
Yeah.
I used to like, you go in with £1 in 2p's and you'd come out with £1.04 if you were lucky. Now it's like, well done, you've got 25,000 tickets. That gets you 1 refresher bar.
That's it, yeah.
And a rubber bouncy ball.
You've always got like a PS5.
Hey, you can win a PS5. All you need is 1 million tickets.
You got to live here 5 years.
I wonder how much money it would take to win a PS5. Probably £1,000 easy, wouldn't it?
You definitely spend more playing the games.
Yeah.
Definitely. Unless you get mega lucky. And I hate those kids that get mega lucky.
Oh, yeah.
It's never been mine yet. Where like there's one of those machines where it's like, stop or something. And you win the bonus and it's like 86,000 tickets. Yeah. Those actually pay out. Like you press it.
Don't worry, that'll be us in Vegas next year.
Oh, yo, Hotel and Casino. Love your work. Love your new addition to the menu, the $3 hot dogs. You liked my tweet. Email me. DM me. Let's get together. Let's make magic in Sin City.
2 title matches tonight.
Oh.
LA Knight
defends
the US Championship against Escobar.
What did he call him last week? Esk.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Street trash being thrown around yet again. But
street trash?
No, I think he was saying that LA Knight's just scum.
Oh,
basically.
like when they were calling Damien Priest street trash.
Did you hear that the Judgment Day were nearly called Street Trash? That was going to be the new name for that. You not heard this?
What?
Yeah, the new name for the heel version of the Judgment Day was going to be Street Trash.
What, when Edge left?
No, as in now.
Oh, the new...
But then there's a public backlash, apparently.
Street J.
I was like, that's perfect name.
I love that. They're right.
Tom JD Carlito.
That's the WWE creative room version of I'm right wanker me. Street J. I love that.
Yeah, it's still the
Who
judgment.
protested that?
Losers on the
You
internet.
pick any two members of the judgment, sort of Ciampa and Gargano walking down the corridor. And tonight, street trash. We're going to. I love it.
Fizzing me, honestly, mate.
Missed opportunity. What was the next step?
Fatal Influence. Great name.
Fatal Influence, man.
That's close to Toxic Attraction,
It
isn't it?
is.
Toxic Attraction 2.0.
Poisoned assessment.
Hey, they're not Pure Fusion Collective, so be grateful for that.
PFC. You ever see that meme where there's a knockoff KFC for every letter in the alphabet?
Yes.
Like, what is PFC? Perfect fried chicken? Pacific fried chicken?
Yeah.
Pre-cooked fried chicken? Oh, my eldest had we got a McDonald's as the last meal of the holiday yesterday on the drive back. Services McDonald's, you know.
Nice.
No, I'm lying. Not quite a Services McDonald's. It was a McDonald's in Derbyshire area somewhere.
Represent.
One of the last few that I know that exists with a soft play attached.
Whoa.
We didn't even know when we went in. The kids have never seen the likes. McDonald's is not really those things. We had it a bit more when I was younger, I recall, but not really that anymore. But they were over the moon with that. But Charlie, my oldest, likes it. Like, they're both out of the Happy Meal stage now. So that's
too cool for that nowadays.
costs me an arm and a leg. But so they're trying different things off the menu. And whenever that, like, we sort of let them loose and actually have one. Because we have to be careful because we basically eat every day. Charlie tried a McSpicy, and like it's got a kick. I like a bit of spicy food, and the McSpicy's for something that you get in at McDonald's that you'd think would be pretty basic from that point of view. It's got a bit of a kick, so he bites in.
Necking his drink.
You all right, Charlie? Yeah. Just sits with it for a bit. Goes to his chips. They had McFlurries waiting. Holiday. Can I have a McFlurry? No, you got to finish your food first.
It's that Hot Ones, this.
Down it goes again. And we noticed that basically what he was doing was like taking a bite and biting the top of the bun and then taking a bite and biting the bottom of the bun. So he's like trying to bread up as much as possible. To the point where there was just like half a bun and all of this chicken sticking out the side. I was like, son, do you want me to have that chicken? Yes, Dad.
I think closest I came to divorcing Annalise was when I found out she likes filet-o-fish. It's weird.
Like, I had a filet-o-fish. Do you know what? I think I had a filet-o-fish for the first time ever when McDonald's reopened in lockdown.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know. I think my head
anything.
I was thinking to myself, you know what? It's time to take some risks in life. I'm going to get a filet-o-fish. Do you get it with cheese automatically, or did I add it?
I think so, yeah.
I can't remember, because I would have taken off something. You know what I'm like?
I don't pay any. I don't go to McDonald's and think, oh, I want from here. Fish.
Fish sandwich, please, Ronald.
Ridiculous.
What is your... So would it be filet-o-fish? I was going to say, what is your most out there McDonald's order? Going in...
Not out there. It's just my go-to one, and I've got to give a shout out to my old housemate Sparky for this. Often I'll just do bog standard chicken sandwich.
Okay.
Job done. Maybe with some nuggets as well to just share with Anne-Louise. She has 3. I'm like, well, we'll finish them off.
Yeah.
And if not finish them now, we'll just save them because cold chicken nuggets are still
When
good.
you say she has 3, you mean from a 20 share box?
Yeah. There's no point doing any of the others. You're basically there by the time you get to like 9, which is what you want.
Yeah.
Basically there.
We talked about this before. I think I could eat 100 chicken nuggets off the belt.
Yeah.
5 share boxes, I reckon.
When Wacky Summer finishes, we'll get back to that world record challenge that we're going to do.
One, yeah, the dry crack one. Yeah.
2 hamburgers. Get large fries, 2 hamburgers, banana milkshake if it's on.
Yeah.
Love a banana milkshake.
Hamburgers.
But get rid of the pickles. Ugh.
Not
Instead,
cheese.
get your chicken nuggets and put them in the hamburger.
Yes, into that.
3 all spread across the top generally.
I like mixing that up. I am a chicken select meal. The posh nuggets.
Yeah.
I
got into them.
Say I should get a 3, but typically I get the 5. 5-piece chicken select meal with a buffer burger, and it just depends on mood I'm in. Sometimes it'll be the McSpicy, double chicken. But really what you want to do once you've paid for the select meal is go to the saver menu. So you want to be spending no more than sort of like $2.50 maximum, because it's like, this is not really even your food. That's your meal. This is just your fat course. Like, So like when they added like the triple cheeseburger at the Saver menu, it's like, is it a Saver if you pay like $3.60 for a burger?
Yeah.
Not really, but it's 3 burgers.
I do that at KFC sometimes. I'll have a little burger to go with all of my chicken, please.
I'll have a bonus banquet and then a second meal, please.
It's in the pictures, looks so small, and you're like, oh, there you go, just do that one.
A mini fillet.
Yeah. Very nice. I'll have
another one of them, please. Burger King is the best of the bunch, but somewhere along the way, they became service station priced on the high street.
Oh.
I don't know how that happened. It never, like, you would go to a service station Burger King and then, like, your parents would never let you forget that day because it was like, we had to get a second mortgage out or something after that. But then every Burger King now just thought, you know what we're going to be? We're going to pretend we're high end.
And now...
food is the best.
They figured out what me and Phil are doing because we try and go in and use the code and like, yeah, unfortunately, codes aren't working today. Aren't they? So your only reasonable way of getting a Burger King is suddenly not available, but I'm studying now and I can smell it. So
I guess you're going to get my £12.
Yes. But LA Knight versus Santos Escobar, US Championship. It feels like an obvious first title defense for LA Knight. But I'm intrigued to see what happens with Legado going forward.
They're,
It feels like they're keeping them just
LA
going.
Knight retains, but it's becoming like it's like they're becoming self-aware. The characters know that they suck. That's just, there was a pep talk last week, wasn't there? It's like we're
very family-esque dinner.
Yeah, we're rubbish now. And the idea is that by beating LA Knight, we're no longer rubbish, but he's not going to beat LA Knight, so they're going to remain rubbish. And that sort of feels like this. It's wrestling, so that oddly feels like the start, maybe not of a push, but the start of an upturn in fortunes, a creative sort of upswing.
Or at the bare minimum, build them up so some Mexicans can come in and beat them.
Yeah, it is Triple H. And there are 2 potentially Hispanic gods of the game on the way in. Yeah, I got to be honest, I'm not into it. The match has to over-deliver to impress, I think, realistically. Partly because of your point, LA Knight just needs a first win. But Santos' turn, the match, the turn on Ray was the peak.
Yes,
it's been downhill since then. They get... WWE and any wrestling company gets what they deserve when you get to these matches. And look, it's for TV. There is now a pecking order. There is now a tier. You've got your massive shows, your SummerSlams, your WrestleManias, and so on. Then you've got your B-grade PLEs, often in various countries where they're hot for anything, but you're getting like a hot 5-match card. Then you've got your TV rivalries. And now we are, not always, but typically, like in that sort of ABC rotation. That's all this is. LA Knight retains.
Let's talk about the other match, though, because I'm really looking forward to seeing what this looks like. It is the tag team titles, of course, held by the Bloodline, who one would assume is going to be represented by Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, potentially.
Yes, Tonga Loa.
He's got one eye. He's getting his ass beat every bloody week.
It's very funny.
It is. I like his eye.
They've got this like
stuff.
He's like, if this Bloodline, they're trying to do with what they had with Jimmy Uso, really, which is add a bit of levity to the act.
Yeah.
And you've got like this absolute killer, this fraud on top, this kind of. Could he be somebody in Tama Tonga?
I agree. Yeah,
like they are starting to occupy in that way that they had that when, like, I would say 2022, when the magic of the Bloodline was like it had never been before, where they would line up the ring on SmackDown. And like one after another, you would look. We used to say this, I remember. But like, there's Jay, there's Jimmy, there's Sammy, there's Paul Heyman, there's Solo Sikoa, there's Roman Reigns. These are individuals now. And when Roman's speaking, look how they react all differently. When Jay got himself in trouble again, it's how do they sell the events that are going on? They're trying to do that with this new Bloodline. I will give them that.
So maybe it's even Solo and Jacob. You know.
Yeah.
Street Profits are like, what
are you doing here?
I will say, if you haven't seen it, the match with DIY last week.
Oh my God.
Loved it.
Unbelievable. There it is.
Caught like a couple of clips and didn't want to be just like swayed into thinking, I've just been shown the high spots. No, match was great. Match was really good.
Patter again from Tez.
Yeah.
We'll be back kicking ass after these messages, basically. I also want to give a shout out to Andrade and Mello for a feud that we just thought, just keep putting this match on week after week for some reason, like it's some sort of house show tour. They've got some out of it. Like, I want to see like a stepped up rematch now between these two.
They're running it pretty much, aren't they? As a best of 7, best of 11 series. It's going to keep on going, this one. They might be onto something with that.
Yeah. And it works so well because they've now under this regime, it's not like just, okay, reset, do the same match again. It's like they learn from every single contest that they had.
When you think about the best 7 series between Sheamus and Cesaro, You remember the feeling of dread when you thought, I'm going to watch these wrestle 7 more times. I've just watched them wrestle loads anyway. They were drawing matches to get to the best of 7. But then it was quite a remarkable feat of booking in 2016 WWE to book a 7-match series that had an end goal of them becoming a tag team and then them be the ones to dethrone the New Day.
Yeah.
In that match just before Christmas. That was like a kind of 1 in a billion shot in that version of WWE. Now, it's probably going somewhere.
Absolutely. But yeah, to get back to the Street Profits, it's been a long old time since they held tag team gold. Unfortunately, right now with Bloodline, especially unless they really want to hot potato it to DIY, to Bloodline, to Street Profits, there was a tiny bit of me that speculated last week, or maybe Monday actually, is Roman going to be the guy to cost the Bloodline the tag titles? But then I sort of neglected to think it's immediately afterwards. And like you say, he's not going to come back on this show to fight for the tag team thing. And you've got the other factor of Sammy and Jay are going to be a tag team soon. And if he wants to get on their good side, that's one way of doing it.
Yeah, the Triple H ain't beating the allegations, put it like that. The Street Profits are being fed to the Bloodline here.
Unless this is a catalyst for a turn for them.
But
I have one final.
I don't want to go in as hard as Sidgwick does with both feet here. But I think you pitching me on the Street Profits turn is you pitching him on Roxanne Perez making it to the main roster.
Yeah, fair.
I feel like we've been down that road a lot. We went halfway down it with Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
And then reversed back down and got them babyface again in time for WrestleMania.
It's just too bloody likeable. That's the problem.
Is it the Street? I think it's creative ineptitude that the Street Profits aren't higher up the card. I think both of them, not only as tag wrestlers, but kind of justified their spots as singles wrestlers, and that was thrown aside for whatever reason. At what point do you look at the landscape of WWE and say, right, if you move them to Raw, no change. You would just, you being Triple H, would see them in a certain spot and never let them get any higher, or never really find the time to get around to them getting higher up the card. Do you just give them that random NXT breather on from the main roster and just see how it turns out, where they will get pushed, they will come across
them returning home as part of the
stars.
CW thing. That's very, because normally you think what we're doing, but if they're making it a big thing, obviously Punk, Orton's going to be on the first couple of shows.
Yeah, just a run of sorts, like a reheating. It doesn't work for everyone, but it works for some.
Yeah.
And I just think they're about to lose.
Unless WWE finally commits to a trios division, of course. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
But you could easily put together 4, 5, 6 teams just off the top of your head that you could make as a trio.
Yeah. Well, I think if there's going to be a trios division, it's going to be in the women's, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Does that features on this card, in fact, doesn't it?
Indeed, yeah.
Street Profits lose. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I think they lose, but I think more jaw-dropping stuff here, especially... Yeah, Montez Ford. And you know what? I always say and don't forget this, Angelo Dawkins going up against Jacob Fatu I want to see as well, because that boy can chuck people about. His pounce is awesome.
Yeah, he won't be out-muscled.
Yeah.
Will he? Yeah. Yeah, no, do not take my indifference to the Street Profits trajectory as indifference to the match itself. It's rarely the case with Street Profits matches. I frankly don't know how they remain so fired up in the face of such obvious neglect.
Yeah, and it's weird that there was a period where you thought, Montez Ford's going to get a singles run here.
Yeah. Just never got there.
But yeah, speaking of trios matches, what a trio this is. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, and Blair Davenport. The Blair Witch Project, as I call it.
Very nice. Against the big three, they call themselves today?
Is that what they call themselves, yeah. Last week, there was Naomi versus Blair Davenport, and I was like, okay, we'll see what's happening here. We know this is building towards Naomi, because she's already helped out Belair and Cargill, and the Unholy Union have had their history. And then Blair Davenport just won.
Yeah. Well, Triple H ain't beating the allegations, is he? Naomi has had a very stop-start time on SmackDown. Does she... Right. Does she turn on Belair and Jade to cost them tag belts in Berlin? Because I can't see a way out of that match. We're going to get that tag match at Berlin, aren't we?
Probably, yeah.
I don't see a way out of that. You either book Belair and Cargill to win, dominate, it's easy. The champions have always been paper champions, and then the old champions have proven that by winning the belts back. Doddle, no bother.
I think they win, especially because they just had the title defense as well on Raw.
Yeah. So they've kind of, or
they've done that old thing of like, well, look at all these title defenses. This sneaking
business we've conducted, and it's like, or do you decide to tell this story instead? Do you sow the seeds for a Naomi turn in this match and actually try with your champions? Do you actually try with Unholy Union to get them going? Like, they've never been able to escape the impending threat of Jade and Bianca. If they were to beat them in Berlin, they could say, you're done. You've got other business to attend to. You do Naomi versus Bianca in a singles. You could do Naomi versus Jade in a singles. Yeah. You could have Naomi look to find an ally and form a relationship with heel. Maybe she joins what appears to me to be the Queen's Court.
Oh my God.
Because that should be a 4-person stable after that segment last week. That was unbelievable. Like, keep them all together, all four. We pitched, I think, Pretty Deadly as like court jesters from the very beginning.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're in. They should stay in. I think there's like room for Naomi to maneuver finally as a heel.
I like that as an idea.
To sow the seeds.
You need to do something with Naomi. I agree.
What do you do with the Unholy Union if Belair and Jay just win the belts back in Berlin? And that's that.
Good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Just a wet fart of a title run.
Yeah. But I kind of have to admit to you, we did a Q&A. Me and Andy recorded the other day. I believe it'll be going out today, in fact. As a video and a podcast, answering some great questions. I picked Jade Cargill to win the Royal Rumble.
Okay, yeah.
To lead to her and Bianca potentially at WrestleMania.
To get the belt back on Bianca for then.
So to get there, I kind of want them to have the tag titles again for a bit before they split.
And then you do sort of Bianca and Nia around Rumble season or something.
Bianca and Tiff.
Oh, because she's won the title by then. Interesting.
Just putting it out there.
Did love the tease of like, everyone's going to get on the knees, including you. Oh, she didn't get the chance.
Well, let's talk about that now, actually. Yeah. I think Naomi, Bianca, and Jade win this to set up and justify, right, title match, back on track, see you in Berlin.
Real quiz.
Mm-hmm. Michin is the new number one contender. Rewarded for all her hard work, quite clearly, being across both SmackDown and NXT. She crashed the Queen Nia's championship celebration, which was very pink last week.
More for Tiffany than for Nia.
Yeah. And excellent performance by Pretty Deadly. Mm-hmm. Give me the musical, please.
Love that segment. Love the whole thing.
But, I know some people were a bit like, ugh. But I think you balance, I think you look at that show as a whole, you got awesome angle to close the show with Roman Reigns. You got sensational match couple, Andrade, Mello, and the number one contenders tag match.
Yeah.
Let's have a little bit of lighter stuff with the Queen, and because she's just destroyed people. That's the point of like Tiffany's.
Yeah.
And they're just putting it out there right in front of you. Tiffany doesn't take her eyes off that belt. Nia didn't have the belt. Let's not forget when she came out in, I can ask you about it now, all white gear on a throne.
Oh my God.
Tiffany handed it to her because when she got in the ring, that's when she got it.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against Michin, but she ain't winning, is she?
She is a better version.
But it'll be interesting if she beats up like Tiff, whether Nia's like, I'm going to make the save.
I think it's a better version of the Escobar thing we were talking about. This is a character that has been like booked half decent. Mia and Michin has been permitted to look dominant with a weapon in hand against the numbers game. She's wrestled all over the shop. She's fighting for titles. She's not successful, but she's scrapping for it. She's fighting. She's hungry. Mm-hmm. Like all that sort of stuff. I think she's credible. I think and I say that as somebody that I know she's going to lose. She's going to lose to Nia Jax, but I think she's credible in the short term to give Nia a first win, to maybe give Tiffany a bit of a wobble, to sort of make Nia question how good Tiffany is, because she's going to be her first line of defense. She's going to fail. She's going to fall short. I don't mind the idea of, and I think they will do this, Michin finding a tag team or allies if Pretty Deadly is suddenly part of Nia's crew as well, which I would very much like. I want that to be a stable. I really do. So yeah, I don't mind this in the slightest, and I think there's ways to add more people to it and build people around it. Do you know who would make great allies to Michin?
Gallows and Anderson?
No, because we've gone down that road back and forth 20 times.
Yeah.
Who else a little bit of patter at the moment. Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews.
Oh my God.
And she's like, look, we're all a bit sort of like odds and sods.
Yes.
However, we've all been down to NXT. We've tried to like get ourselves back on the go again. And here we are on SmackDown. We're not quite there yet, but what we know is that we're better than these. And you can use them to sort of offset Pretty Deadly. And then she's just got to try and get Tiffany out of the way so she can get to Nia Jax and get this title. Just have some matches, have some fun with it.
Bam.
And the dirt is gone.
Baron Apollo Meechin. Team Bam.
Team Bam. We don't need the team, do we? Just Bam.
Bam!
Bam! Right in the kiss. That's power, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bang and the dirt is gone. Power right in the kisser. Is this Bam anything other than Bam Bam Bigelow or Terry Bam Bam Gordy or Bam Bam from the Flintstones?
Sam and the Womp was Bomb Bomb Bomb, wasn't it?
That song?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that in years and I heard it 2 days ago.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. Is that like a Sam and the Womp?
Sam and the Womp.
Radio days. Yeah, I bet you were playing that a lot of the time.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Got read out on Radio 1 over the summer again.
You know the trick, don't you?
Yeah.
They're not getting any text just like the rest of us.
Phil, just for a second.
I go over this. So, yeah, I told him that back in the radio days when the presenters used to be like, whoa, we're getting flooded with text here, guys. They're not. No one texts the I mean, even with WhatsApp and what have you, radio stations are not getting the messages they anticipate.
So I got on for the feature. This is going to send chills up your spine. Called the Tell Us What You're Doing, guys, with the 3-word weekend.
No! 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 No!
So I text.
The only good one of these, by the way, is it was the lads on TalkSport. What was the one who used to present Soccer AM? He did What's the Best British Thing and How Do We Win in one of the games in the tournament? And one bloke just rang up and he just went, baked beans penalties.
I want to apologise. This wasn't a Radio 1 one. This was a different one. That was WhatsApp. I text Hits Radio. Right now,
That's where I would be working now if I was still there.
This is relevant, right? Because it was a 3-word weekend. I just, it's fish in a barrel, man. So I just said...
It was a weekend show, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bloke's not that bloke's not prepped that whatsoever.
Friday afternoon, gives you a 3-word weekend. So I just love the show and the tunes. I hadn't listened to a single song that had been played.
That for every message you send.
Yeah. Kids, holiday, pool. And the DJ was like, I got 2 missed calls from the radio station.
Yeah, they want you on. They got to get callers.
That'll fill. But I ignored the call because I knew what they were doing. And I knew we had another 10 minutes in the car. And I was like, I've only done this to pop the kids.
Yeah.
Right? My wife sat there. My long-suffering, lovely wife is just like, yeah, really funny, well done. I was like, well, this is going to be a story for Wilbourn.
Yeah.
If anything, it's going to pop the kids and it's going to pop Wilbourn. So it gets read out. Our surname gets read out. Kids, holiday, pool. But, right, you don't need to read what these are, but I didn't realise this when I sent the text. But those who have iPhones or Androids, I guess now, will obviously keep a record of any text of that number. Mm-hmm. So what is the date of the last time I messaged that number?
2019.
Right?
2019. Those are different names they've changed. Oh yeah, start your message with a word because we're so cheap. We're saying the same.
Viking, a Darren, Viking, a Hattie.
Hattie Pearson?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe I remember.
It's 3-word weekend, basically. Goes right the way back to 2017. I'm using stupid emojis just to get their attention on the text console.
Oh, the text console's probably so old that they wouldn't be able to see that. It would just be a question mark in a box.
2016 is the first one I've got. So that's a record of me, usually with one of my mates, Dave Smith. He won't be listening. Driving back from a long away game, thinking, should we just get, like, anytime you tune in, you get a radio station, you might have half an hour on a long drive from an away game. It's like, we can get our names in there in the time we've got on this radio station, and we always do.
New game for everyone to play.
Honestly, get yourself right out on air. Radio 1.
It's still great. My mate works on Radio X. He does the indie night. Rich Wolfenden, shout out to him.
Yeah.
And I'll still, if I'm going somewhere on a Friday or a Saturday night, I'll still message him. Even if I'm going to the shops, just being like, Adam, just going out the shopping. Can you play as a great indie tune from back in the day? When it reminds me when it was fun to go out this time of night.
And then you hear it, and it's like, oh, that's us. That's our name.
My mate. Of course he's going to do it.
Claudia Winkerman to say happy 40th birthday to my wife.
Yeah, that's
like awesome. On Radio 2. Like you just gotta just placate their egos a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like say that the tunes are great. You're not even listening really. It's always scouting for girls or something. Like they're just like it's just the same old Ed Sheeran or whatever. Mm-hmm. Bit of a little Georgie Ezra.
Green Grass. So I should have listened to that at the weekend.
I saw one of my mates during our holiday.
Sweet Chin Disco, play it.
And I told him, I'm going to have a party and we're going to fucking die. And instantly he was like, well, that's all I can hear.
Yeah.
That's all he will
Ruined
ever
it.
hear now. Ruined it.
One final question for you, Michael Hamflett. I don't mean this if he's listening or watching, but it's a good catalyst for our question because I know you're passionate to talk about this. Does Kevin Owens even deserve a title shot?
Yes, but no, but yes. Oh my, the guy from Vicar of Dibley. He does.
Cody saved him last week from Theory and Waller, of course, after that. I like that match as well because he was like, I'm not pissing about now.
Yeah. Cody's going to get dropped on his chin.
Or hit with a chair because there's been 2 occasions at least now I think of where Kevin Owens has been stood behind Cody with a chair in his hand.
I would like Cody to acknowledge that that has happened as a smart babyface and then say, look, Kevin, if you're going to hit me, just rear back and hit me, will you? Like, I'm ready for you on a night and I'll be ready for you in Berlin. Don't think just because this whole thing has been softly between us that I'm going to take it easy at the pay-per-view. So don't take it easy on me. Do not patronize me. And then if Kevin Owens does hit him, it's like, well, Cody, you had this one coming, mate. You thought you were being smart.
Otherwise, you're going to look stupid when Randy does it, presumably.
And this is what I wanted to talk about, right? I haven't really seen... I did earnestly take a break from X. I think that's the only way I can fully disconnect because I can't stop myself. It's a Tuesday. I'm still going to find out what happened on Raw at bare minimum, if not end up watching it in secret. Like, fun. Hotel breakfast. I think this is a really interesting story. I really, really like this. First of all, it's Cody and Kevin Owens is not the main event.
No.
You could argue it's not even the semi-main event. Might open. It opened to great effect in Glasgow. The rematch, the AJ Cody rematch was a good opener in Glasgow. Yeah, you probably got Drew and Punk second from last and Gunther and Orton in the main event, right? And about that main event, Gunther Orton is this insanely credible first title challenger for Gunther, built off the back of them making good on that botched King of the Ring finish.
Yeah.
Loads to love about that on its own, right? Orton has just, he's kind of cashed in as this favour, I guess, but he's used his influence and his experience and his power as this WWE legend to just swan over to Raw and go, title match, please. And he's got it, and Gunther's going to beat him, right, in Berlin, and it's going to be awesome. In the meantime, Kevin Owens could do the exact same thing with Cody. He could have used all the same sway and all the same influence and all the same sort of moxie that Randy Orton had, but didn't, because he didn't even get the chance. Cody was like, I want to give it to you. And Kevin Owens is not Randy Orton. And
really interesting the way that they, like, the bravery in the booking to have the person who's challenging the title saying, I don't want this. Or I don't deserve it, I should say.
That is the way to illustrate the contrast and put over the heel turn. I like this sort of, what's the phrase? I'm quite tired. We've done a lot today. I mean, it's early Friday morning. Preemptively, I like this.
Okay.
Because if this doesn't play out as the way I've said, then I guess I'm talking nonsense. And
Welcome to my world.
I was just dead wrong. Well, you take risks. You stick your neck out as the OTJ, right? The OTG, I think it's giraffe.
That's giraffe in sign language.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Been learning that with Eric.
What other sign language do you know? It's BSL.
Yeah,
Or
not
Maxon.
the because we've been mislearning
Maxon,
mislearning it from Miss Rachel because she does the American one. Apparently that's wrong.
ASL.
I think that's bread or sandwich, maybe.
Okay.
All the important ones.
When Cody beats Owens, and I think he will.
Yes.
And the two will. I don't think Owens is going to turn heel. I think he's just going to spark him out as to make a point. I think he's going to.
I like that. I've still got this edge to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a bastard.
I didn't want the shot. Thank you for it. Do not take the piss out of me. Like, you're asking for it, I'm going to bring it.
You could even have the catalyst for Owens eventually going back heel be Sammy going back to the bloodline and him being like, what are we doing here, mate?
Yeah, I can't ever be with them.
How can you,
Yeah, ever. So anyway, Berlin happens. Owens loses.
I allowed it with Jay, but I'm not allowing it with you and Roman. Yeah.
But yeah, Owens loses. It's a good match. It's a nice little program for Cody, and they shake hands at the end. And Owens has sort of proven his worth as a man and as a competitor by almost not getting the shot, realizing he is worth it, and then losing and falling short. And you've had a month of a babyface, and you know what is a really virtuous quality is believing in fairness. And we've had a month of that, and we've been shown over and over again that is a very virtuous thing for a good guy to do. And then the guy that has just swanned off to Raw and gone, title match, please, and has got his title match and has done what? Lost in a title match when Kevin Owens has said, I've kind of not been winning that much. And the first thing he does off losing to Gunther goes to Cody and says, title match, please. And Cody's gone, well, not really, because like Randy, we go back. It would be my honor to face you one day, but there's a lot of challenges here on SmackDown at the moment. It's a hugely competitive environment. I was like, you give him one. You're just giving him out, aren't you? Like, no, like Owens has got this competitive spirit. I know you, Randy. I know that you want to compete for it as well. You f***ing patronise me, you f***ing little like.
I'm gonna RKO your dog.
And then he RKOs Pharaoh. And then, like, that's the heel turn. And what we're looking at is not just a Randy Orton heel turn from when he was staring at the belt, as he was. We've been shown that is coming.
Oh, yeah.
We've also now been given the contrast, the difference between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Why Orton is prepared to do what he is prepared to do as a heel when Kevin Owens wasn't. I think that's what this Kevin Owens.
I think
that's what this entire program exists for. Is for the Randy Orton match.
Yeah, but I think they could even delay the Randy Orton match all the way up to the Royal Rumble. You know.
He's kind of on side for War Games if Cody needs him more.
Yeah, if they want to use a big match for Cody at Survivor Series, like you say. But if need be, imagine that. Like, I've beaten Randy Orton. Well, I guess that's all the ghosts from my past dealt with. Number 30, the Royal Rumble. If you smell. That's my other pick, by the way. Rock and Jake Cargill for the Rumble.
All right. Well,
I told you my theory about that, didn't I? That the thing he handed to Cody was a number 30.
Yes. Don't break my heart. I do love that. What a couple of winners for the poster for the Vegas WrestleMania as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, my God.
Big time, isn't it?
It's huge time.
But not to dismiss this Kevin Owens thing, because I think he's done a really good job of it, of like, I don't deserve it. Then there was that bit backstage with the SmackDown GM, whose name escapes me, but hopefully we'll remember it by the end of the podcast. Yeah. Remind me to do that, because I've been forgetting to do it recently.
Okay.
But
yeah, he's like, what? Was it Roman or something?
Someone else came in, didn't they? And went, a bit then.
Hang on. Yeah, I'm better than him.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Or Theory or Waller or whoever. And he went, no. And then you really enjoyed last week of like them taking the piss and be like, yeah, I'm rubbish, aren't I? Come on, let's go out there and prove how rubbish I am. And he'd be like, and the fact now, he's like, I'm not just doing the stunner, I'm giving you the pop-up powerbomb.
I think like this. Cody's getting beaten before the show, but it's not going to scan as a heel turn. It's going to be making a point. Kevin Owens is making a point, and I think they've had to tread carefully to get to the point where it can attack him without it feels like he's turning his back or stabbing him in the back or whatever.
Exactly.
And I think they're going to get there. And I think the match, we have every reason to believe the match will be good as well.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
No doubt. Really excited for that tonight. You got Michin, the number one contender, Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, and Blair Davenport. Let us know your thoughts on all these, by the way, either in the comments or on X at WhatCulture WWE. You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett. Make
sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling. No review of this because of the bank holiday, but we'll circle back to this next Friday because pretty much then Wacky Summer's done.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I looked on my holiday calendar and it said, you've done all your holidays now.
Hang on, wait a minute. Friday the 30th, yeah, I'm off.
We'll record this on Thursday.
Probably.
And put it out. Well, there will be a SmackDown preview where we'll discuss all the fallout from this episode of SmackDown, which also features, by the way, the Street Profits versus the Bloodline for the tag team titles, LA Knights versus Santos Escobar for the United States Championship, and all the fallout from the Bloodline's attack on Roman Reigns.
The SmackDown preview. It's got all this and so much more.
We'll see you soon. We'll see you all in. Bye.